The Flinders Ranges, possibly the most extraordinary adventure touring destination in Australia, and we're spending 5 days seeing all the best parts. Most adventure rides are about getting somewhere, ticking off a distance, completing a loop. That's their purpose. But this ride starts and ends in the same place every day. So what is its purpose? As everyone starts to arrive, the Hawker Hotel Motel will be our home for the next 6 nights. Today is about settling in, ensuring the bikes are filled up and ready for the morning. There are a few familiar faces on this ride because it didn't start here. To understand what this ride is all about, we need to go back 8 months to the end of the Outback Jack Tour.
What was your best day?
Flinders Ranges.
Yeah,
for sure.
Murray, Hawker to Murray. That day?
Magic.
So should we just do a 5-day trip around the Flinders?
You could, you know. We could stay in the one place and close.
Stay at Hawker
And do
check in
day
and out
rides.
there's a spot.
And you can probably stop at a lot more spots and have a bit more.
Yeah, more photos.
It can take a little
You
bit
make
of
the day. Alright, I'll get work.
Well, we'll book it, so there you go.
Day 1 and we're heading to the western side of the ranges, running down south to Port Augusta and then returning to Hawker via Corn.
Here we go, day 1, Flinders Ranges. Let's go and see some of this stunning countryside. The old Garn train station is now a restaurant. Might have to check that out. Nice cruisy day today. It's the shortest day of the trip, which is a nice one to get things rolling. 276 kilometres, about 4.5 hours of riding, so nice and easy. I love the way it just opens up.
Came out here to see the Aussie wilderness, but you always got to be wary of it getting intimately close.
Good. How's that?
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Tell you what, doesn't matter where you are, you got to watch a ruse.
Yeah?
I literally had one here take me out just around the corner here, so after everyone else had come through and they're all pulled up here, and I had one.
Did you?
Yeah. When they think it's safe, and then they jump out.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just come straight at me, he looked straight at me and went boom behind me.
Far out.
Kamikaze, bloody rude.
Water. Hello, Jeff.
I think the battery's come loose again.
Ah. Feels tight.
Because it was doing exactly the same thing as what it did. Well,
That's
see,
a bit
wasn't it.
loose.
That was the one before.
Was it just every now and then?
Yeah, you just hit a bump.
Cool. How are you, Jeff?
I'm good. Good.
Wind turbine's off in the distance, over the horizon there. Tell you what, flat earthers, this is as flat as it gets, and there's still a curve. So, you can see, if you look off in the distance, I'll try and zoom in, you can just see the tips of the wind turbines rolling over. When we were a little bit higher before, you could see more of them. But as we've come down to their level, this is as flat as it gets, and you can still see there's a curve. Pretty fascinating.
After passing the 220 megawatt solar farm, we found our way south to Port Augusta, which is more than just a lunch stop, it's the crossroads of Australia. Every major road leads here. You can take the Sturt Highway north to Darwin, the Air Highway west to WA, Augusta Highway south to Adelaide, or of course, the Flinders Ranges way through Corn, which we're taking after a quick lunch break. We swung through Corn, a town that is the beating heart of the Outback railways. Back in the day, if you were heading north to nowhere, chances are you steamed your way through here first. Today, it's a quiet little pocket of history, but the spirit of adventure is still puffing away.
Emu's literally running at the road. Stay there, dude.
We then cut through Yarravale Gorge to follow the centre of the Southern Ridges north.
That for a view.
Day 2, and we're heading southeast towards Yunta and then looping back around to Aru in the afternoon. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that correctly, but whatever. A 400-kilometre loop that heads out past the ranges into the vast open plains and a few tricky riverbeds to keep us on our toes.
Hello! Decided to ditch the tank bag today because yesterday I just found it too much in the way. I couldn't get forward on the bike, and particularly standing up, it was just a bit horrible. Longer day today, a bit over 400 k's. This is a school bus. Sun doesn't come up here until 7:22 a.m. and we leave at 8:30, so there's only an hour of sunrise before we take off. Bit gravelly in spots.
Yeah, some of those floodways, but yeah,
Yeah.
hit them with some speed. Yeah, right.
I think the worst thing is this is covered in dust. You can't see your line through there.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's to happen. What was it?
You're in one piece.
Rocks in the washout, was it?
The washout itself, bum kicked up in the air and
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Just hit it, probably just a little bit too quick.
yeah.
It just come up, yeah.
But you're all right though? That's the main thing.
Yeah. Between the shoulder blades, just feels like it's an ache.
Yeah.
It's not there's something sharp, so
It'll feel better later.
it is.
You are liar.
Whoa! Not out of it yet. Jesus Christ. Ooh. Couple of little tough sections there. Keep everyone on their toes. Anyone on the light bikes didn't even notice it. You know, in those situations, it really blows my mind how much the bike doesn't want to fall over. And typically when it does, it's because it's so hard to override the feeling of stop. Like you think, oh, I need to stop because I'm about to crash or something's about to happen. And even when the handlebars seemingly go like 45 degrees the wrong direction in a split second, somehow the bike just keeps going forward and it corrects, and you gotta let it do it.
I came through that there. I saw Alex in the distance. I thought, that probably means I should slow down. And I just rolled off a little bit of brake, and then so I came through there. I wouldn't say full song, but
Yeah,
getting there.
not far off it.
It's moments like those though, I really appreciate the suspension on that bike. The Tractive Extreme suspension, man, you can just plow it into shit.
Yeah.
It's so good, yeah.
Tell you what, when you start watching what other bikes do in the same scenarios that you're in, you realise that there's a big difference between a 2008 GS, the modern suspension, particularly bikes that have had suspension changed, how they react to things. Yeah, which means for me I just chill, but also I'm comfortable to ride at the speed where the bike's comfortable. Sand. Oh, look at that. That's cool.
Tea Tree Road takes us to Yunta, now sealed more than it was when we last came through here only 8 months ago. It might look like nothing, but sitting between Peterborough and Broken Hill, Yunta is the kind of place that keeps the country running, one road train and a servo pie at a time. From Yunta, we're heading west through to Orroroo, Carrington and Cradock.
Alright, lunch break done. Visor's clean, fuel reset. And away we go. Between the more established towns of Orroroo and Hawker, you'll find not much more than pubs and paddocks. The land starts to shift again from wheat fields to red earth. Places like Almerta Station remind you that this is still a working land, but one that's quietly inviting. The road back to Hawker is beginning to feel a little different, less like a visit and more like the home stretch. Each afternoon we'd roll into the same servo, filling up with fuel and then heading back to the pub, a shower, eat a schnitzel,
and watch something like On Any Sunday, appreciating the simple pleasures in life. Day 3 and it's straight into the dirt, and the rain has made it both muddy and dusty at the same time. How does that happen? Clearly just an Outback thing. A quick top up of the fuel tanks at £1 a pound. And then it's straight into the highlight of the trip, Razorback Lookout.
Alright, let's get dirty. From the Outback trip last year, this was one of my highlights. Arguably some of the best corners in adventure riding in this country. Isn't that something? There are some great views in this world, and this has to be right up there as one of the best. Last time, and my view has definitely not changed. This is the road. If there's any road you're going to do on an adventure bike, this is the one you need to get to. And as I said last time, the reason being is because anyone can do it. It's not a challenging road, it's just stunning. Chuck a left at Blinman. It's on the itinerary, but not for today. Instead, we're heading to an even smaller town ahead.
having lunch at the Prairie Hotel, not a bad feed for the middle of nowhere. Tourist dollars support this fine pub and its great burgers. Returning to the bikes, we find a flat tyre, but the Aussie Bike or Hike support team have us on the road in no time. The trip back to Hawker had us taking the road less travelled, one that neither of us had actually seen before. Let's see what people think of it on the other side.
Yeah, that was definitely a highlight.
Hanging out if you want to do.
Oh, I even commented to the camera, Bear's leaving his telltale signs all through here. I knew where to go, we just had to follow the mark.
A stroll back into Hawker and filling up the tanks yet again at the same servo. Penultimate day of the trip, and we're heading west through Martinswell and around to the spectacular Pugilus Hill, a true 360-degree lookout. Big blue skies and endless dirt roads ahead.
Wind's picked up a lot. Feeling it's going to be a little bit rocky the next few kilometres. The size of those trees. Wow. I always feel like going back to first gear just feels more secure doing that, you know, safer, but you end up just really jerky on the throttle. I'm going back to first. Oh, Jesus. Pugilist Hill, or as I like to call it, Puggy Hill. My little Zacky boy at home. It's way better than it used to be. Get over to the middle here a bit. That's not where I wanted to be. It'll do. Hey. Each day that we settle into the customary routine, a fondness is growing. What they offer is hire cars in Hawker. Huh? The best of the best. Tomorrow we're heading towards Lee Creek for the northern part of the ride. Although the weather has been on our side thus far, it's not looking rosy for the final day. We've all been on those rainy rides when it said it was going to be sunny, and the perfect riding days when it's meant to be wet. So we may as well stick to the plan until we've got a reason to change it. But once we got within a few kilometres of Lee Creek, that reason got pretty real.
It's not a lot of rain, but the problem is, it will be a problem on the dirt. Out here, when you get any bit of rain, it turns to full clay really quickly. And the issue we've got is once we get in, there's no option to get back out, right? Once we get 100 k's in, if it rains more, we're stuck.
Alright, change of plans. As predicted, the rain stayed up north so we could pack away the wet weather gear.
thing about the Flinders Ranges is you're never going to run out of roads to ride, and even when you've ridden them before, it's never going to be a bad day of riding on some of the best roads in the country.
Welcome to Blendon. While this wasn't the original plan, going back through what is arguably the best road in the country, not a bad way to finish off.
We're effectively reversing some of the previous day's routes, and it did not disappoint.
Razorback lookout. Last time pulling into Hawker.
Mate, Alex, this is a great ride. Like, I've been on a couple of rides now, but this was the beat.
Yeah,
It was
cool.
good.
That's good.
I really enjoyed myself.
Yep.
And this tonight, can't ask for any more.
Yeah, good. What do you think of the trip?
Absolutely perfect, mate. We went to the Wiseman's Ferry 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's why we previously booked again.
Yeah.
And absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Loved the Flinders was good. I loved having it at stationary, and I love the mix of cars. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Great trip.
Awesome.
And
Cool.
all my mates that come with, very happy, and we will be booking again.
Bloody awesome.
I saw everything I expected to see. Right, you delivered in spades.
Yeah.
I had a great ride, good bunch of guys, but your crew and the way you organise your events, you deserve a pat on the back.
Yeah,
You run a good
thank you.
show.
Oh, that's good. Go and get these boys. You're on.
Hello.
You're on YouTube.
Well, as always, I was a captive audience. I don't really want to come on these trips, but I'm paid to come on these trips as an advanced rider to help the crew. Seriously, everybody, no, fantastic. As always, I'm always on these trips for one reason. I love the trips. Well run, well organised and safe, and it's just the best thing you could ever do. If you're not sure, come along, ask. Call Alex and find out what goes on in these trips, because otherwise you'll never find out. Look at tonight, Vern will pan around right now.
Panning.
You're panning, Vern. Pan, Vern. There's a band. Back to me, Vern. Back to me, Vern. It's all about me. Yeah, no, it's fabulous. So no, I can't thank the boys enough. Not so much Vern. He's the worst rider I've ever seen, but no, you'll love it.
I'll put it on the road for you, mate.
Thank you, sir.
No worries.
On the final night at the pub, I finally worked out the purpose of this trip. It wasn't about getting somewhere or even achieving some grand goal. It was about connection. Establishing a connection to the people and to this little place called Hawker, and its undeniable urge to one day return to the Outback.